The world's most popular skateboarder was in Billings Thursday. Tony Hawk actually helped build this skate park almost 20 years ago, and it's used by thousands of kids and adults. And it turns out Tony has a very personal connection to the Magic City. As an ROTC cadet for MSU Billings, Ryan Finley gets to do things like rappel off buildings all the time, but it's his accomplishments as a cadet and a track star that's taking him to greater heights. From bench presses to deadlifts, one Billings powerlifter is sweeping competitions across the country in her first year of the sport, and she's only 15. That was Adrian Hine, who I just threw down the stairs. Don't worry, he's okay. The Billings-based stuntman has been in a variety of works, like The Jungle Book, 300, and even World War Z. And he gave me a sneak peek into the inner workings of what it's like to be a professional stuntman. There's a big difference between the two sides of this fence, and that's all thanks to these goats. They're a part of Groovy Grazers, a Laurel-based business that uses a cute and sustainable way to maintain land. Former President Donald Trump will be in Bozeman Friday as he bats for Tim Sheehy for the Senate race. He did the same thing for Matt Rosendale back in 2018 in a losing effort against John Tester. So how much will this visit impact voters? It was in June of 2022 when the body of lame deer woman Arshanda Knows His Gun was found in a canal near the East Bridge here in Lockwood. The Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office has ruled out foul play, but Arshanda's family says there's more to the case than meets the eye. With 13,000 vets here in Yellowstone County, it's hard to not know somebody who's served their country. It's even tougher to know the struggles they're dealing with. It's a perspective that Saving 22 will supply here at the Babcock Theater Friday night. This giant tree that fell onto J.C. Park in Miles City is just a small part of the destruction the community is going through. From downed power lines to crushed cars, they're picking up the pieces slowly but surely. This isn't what Miles City native Angelia Jones had planned this Sunday.
It was a lot worse than I could have ever imagined.
Picking up the pieces of a tree that fell onto a property she landscapes.
8-foot root balls sticking out of some people's yards and trees on cars and houses.
She's not the only one. These trees at Honda Trails are what's left of the more than 70-mile-per-hour winds that wrecked Miles City. At least 3 people were reportedly injured.
The entire city, they ended up flipping the switch. There was power lines down pretty much on every street.
The power might be back on for most of Miles City,
because it was call after call after call.
But the work's not over for Custer County Disaster and Emergency Services Coordinator and Fire Chief Corey Chagas.
We're just praying we don't catch any more wildland fires. We had 3 caused with the storm too ahead of it.
A sight to see for storm chasers Matt Hanwold and Brendan Lawrence of Big Sky Weather.
The wind started picking up. We could see it blowing across the field. Like I said, you can see the dust rolling in from miles and miles away.
We actually encountered a lady that drove through it further north in the state. Her windshield was shattered. She was pretty shaken up.
Chagas isn't sure how much damage the storm caused in terms of dollars, but he says it will take a lot of manpower to clean it up.
The more the people pick it up themselves instead of throwing it in the street, it saves, the city a lot of money instead of them having to go back and pick it up.
But for residents like Angelia, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It leaves me in awe of, you can go from a beautiful, bright, sunny day to uprooted trees and hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million of damage in the course of 45 minutes.
In Miles City, Alina Hauter, MTN News.
Hundreds gathered at Metro Park for the American Cancer Society's annual Relay for Life event. It's one that focuses on bringing awareness to different types of cancers and raising funds for more research. One of those participants was Lana Cook, a Billings woman who's been fighting stage 4 metastatic breast cancer for the past decade. I had the chance to catch up with her as she reflected on her health journey and talked about why her cancer doesn't define who she is as a person.
I remember going with my parents.
Lana Cook is no stranger to hospitals.
My dad, he had open heart surgery when I was in high school or college, and I was just so impressed by the nurses.
And what started as a fascination eventually became a full-blown career.
I started working professionally as a nurse at age 22.
But little did this single mother of 2 know.
Yeah.
She would be in and out of hospitals not only as a nurse.
I started to have pain while I was walking, on my right side.
But also as a patient.
I mean, I was in shock.
Lana was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer that spread to her bones and brain in 2015.
I counted one time how many IV chemotherapy drugs I've had, and I've had probably at least a dozen or more different ones over the years.
But Lana hasn't let years of treatment and pain take away from her life.
If there's something that I know that I can do physically, and I've always done it, because I've always ridden horses since I was little, and I can still do it, I'm gonna do it. There's no reason I shouldn't.
Whether it's horseback riding, hiking, or cheering on her kids.
I'm doing a lot of watching volleyball.
Lana's not just a cancer patient, but a nurse, a music lover, and a mother.
You just think about them and know that you have to do whatever you can, whatever's in your control, to make sure that you're here for them for as long as possible.
Living life to the fullest, even if it's thrown her a couple of curveballs along the way.
That's what's important for me, is to, kind of show that, yes, I do have cancer. I am on treatment, but I am still doing my thing. I am still living like I would any other time.